Jimmy Olsen from My Adventures with Superman is much more than just a quirky sidekick or comic relief character. He's a multi-layered, interesting figure with so many unique qualities that make him both relatable and fascinating. Whether it's his deep loyalty, boundless enthusiasm, or his offbeat personality, he has a lot going on under the surface, which makes him stand out as a truly unforgettable character. Though we don't know much about Jimmy's early life before college, we do know that his life took a turn when he met Clark. They were assigned as roommates in college, and from the moment they met, Jimmy had a feeling that they'd be best friends. His enthusiasm for life and for people shone through immediately. It's not every day that someone declares on their first meeting, "We're gonna be best friends," but that's Jimmy. He's open-hearted and has an innate ability to bond with people instantly. His personality is one of his most endearing traits. He's a whirlwind of energy, curiosity, and enthusiasm. His passion for the paranormal and the supernatural is almost infectious. He doesn't just want to uncover the next big story for the sake of journalism. He's genuinely interested in the unknown, the mysteries that people typically dismiss or don't believe in. This belief in aliens, cryptids, and conspiracies isn't just a quirky hobby for Jimmy, it's a way of life. He believes in Bigfoot, aliens, ghosts, the Loch Ness Monster, and just about every other strange phenomenon you can think of. His mind is always buzzing with theories and ideas, and he's not afraid to share them with anyone who will listen. He even runs a YouTube channel dedicated to these wild theories, where he talks to his small group of followers, who he fondly calls his believers. It's this passion that makes Jimmy such an interesting character. He doesn't care that his ideas sound ridiculous to most people. He's fearless in pursuing what he believes in, and that level of conviction is rare. But even though Jimmy is full of eccentricities, he's not just some crackpot conspiracy theorist. Beneath all the wild ideas is a sharp, insightful mind. He's actually a brilliant detective, someone who can connect dots that others might miss because they're too focused on conventional logic. His offbeat thinking often leads to real discoveries, making him a valuable asset to his friends, especially when it comes to solving mysteries surrounding Superman or Metropolis. Time and again, his seemingly outlandish conclusions turn out to be right. The fact that he figured out that Clark Kent was Superman long before anyone else shows just how sharp he really is. His relationship with Superman is a unique one, where Lois is focused on exposing Superman's identity to the world. Jimmy's interest in Superman is more about understanding him. When Jimmy realized that Clark was Superman back in their college days, he didn't rush to reveal the truth or use it to his advantage. Instead, he waited for Clark to feel comfortable enough to talk about it.
I didn't say anything because it seemed like a sensitive subject. So I thought that if I waited, you would tell me when you were ready.
This patience and respect for boundaries set Jimmy apart from other characters who might have seen Clark's secret as something to exploit. His respect for his friend's privacy shows a deep loyalty and care that makes their bond incredibly strong. While he's always eager to help Clark and be part of the action, he's also aware that some things take time. He's not in a hurry to rush things or push people, which is a stark contrast to Lois's more aggressive approach. This difference in their relationships with Superman shows that while Jimmy can be excitable, he's also deeply empathetic and understands when to let people come to him on their own terms. One of the more lighthearted aspects of Jimmy's character is his role as a matchmaker between Lois and Clark. He's their biggest fan, and he's always trying to push them together, sometimes a bit too eagerly. Whenever there's romantic tension between the two, Jimmy is right there, fanning the flames, though often in a way that's more awkward than helpful. His enthusiasm for seeing Lois and Clark as a couple is endearing, even if it occasionally leads to some cringe-worthy moments where he unintentionally interrupts their private moments. He is the kind of friend who wants the best for the people he loves even when he's not subtle about it. His heart is in the right place. His support for Lois and Clark as a couple comes from his belief in the power of love and friendship, two things that are incredibly important to him. In Season 2, we get to see a different side of Jimmy when he comes into a significant amount of money.
Wait, James, you said you had something to share.
Oh, right. I sold Flamebird to the Daily Planet for $5.6 million. I'm super rich now.
Suddenly finding himself with $5 million, Jimmy's confidence skyrockets, and he begins spending in ways that are as eccentric as he is. He buys things like a private jet and a yacht, not just for fun but to help his friends. While this newfound wealth boosts his ego a little, his generosity never wavers. He's always willing to share what he has with the people around him, even if his spending habits are a bit reckless. By episode 2, his fortune is already half gone, but that's Jimmy, always going all in for the people he cares about. This phase shows that even with money, he remains the same loyal, caring friend. He doesn't become greedy or self-centered. If anything, he just becomes more eager to help and make a difference in the lives of those around him. One of his most surprising traits is his ability to read people and situations. Despite his bubbly and sometimes absent-minded personality, Jimmy is an excellent judge of character. He has a knack for understanding what's really going on with people, even when they don't see it themselves. This ability to give insightful advice shows how much he genuinely cares about others. We see this with Lois, especially when Jimmy isn't afraid to call her out on her behavior. He compares her to her father, something that she denies, but Jimmy stands his ground, pointing out that Lois's aggressive approach to Clark is similar to how her father might act. But at the same time, he comforts her by acknowledging that she's different from her father in one key way: she gave Clark a chance, something her father wouldn't have done. His ability to see these nuances in people's actions speaks to his emotional intelligence and shows that despite his eccentricities, he's deeply thoughtful. When he meets Kara, Clark's cousin, there's an immediate spark. He saves her from being run over by a truck and is flustered when he sees her for the first time. His feelings for her develop quickly, and he's drawn to her, even before realizing who she really is. When Kara is later revealed to be under Brainiac's control, Jimmy stands by her, even when others, like Lois, suggest using kryptonite to stop her.
We're not going to hurt Kara.
Kara? I'm sorry, you're on a first-name basis with Clark's kidnapper?
It's more complicated than that.
He sees beyond her actions, understanding that Kara is not herself. He believes in her and refuses to give up on her, showing once again that his loyalty and faith in people are unshakable.